Dear viewers, I welcome you to the next round of the Creative Society International Discussions, which are following the huge, unprecedented international online forum Global Crisis, Our Survival as in Unity, which took place on November 12, 2022. This forum was organized by volunteers of Creative Society and translated into an amazing 150 languages, which is showing to me that anything is possible if people unite in one common goal, saving humanity and bringing better future for all mankind. And I would also like to introduce my co-host today, Olga.
Thank you so much, Gabika. It's a great pleasure to be here with you. And I'm also happy that we are here not alone, but with our beautiful guests. Let me introduce them. Tammy Prendergast from Australia, beauty therapist and adult store manager. Tammy, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Welcome to our show. And Jeanette Peterson, also from Australia. Jeanette is modern day yogi, speaker, author, and transformation strategist while openly sharing her wisdom of love and life to other people. Hello, dear Jeanette. Welcome. How are you today?
I'm well. It's a pleasure to be here.
And also I would like to introduce Hertzog Burger, who is also from Australia, and he's an audio engineer and part-time EDM music producer. Welcome. And also we have with us Srikanth from Singapore, who is an independent researcher and also an IT engineer. Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to be here. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, guys, for coming to us. Wow, we have such a diverse crowd today. I'm so glad that we will be able to review Creative Society and the forum from different sides. I must say that we are living in very challenging times. Our society is in multiple crises: social, economical, ecological, geopolitical, moral, and moreover, climate crisis. We can't bear all of the problems we are facing as humanity. How did it happen that we collected so many of them? What's the nature of our crisis, and how we can end these dark times and finally start living as one prosperous society? These are not rhetorical questions. All the answers to all of the questions I mentioned you can get in the open international online forum Global Crisis, Our Survival is in Unity, which, as Gabichka mentioned, we've held on 12th of November. The forum released such vital and unprecedented information that we are here to ask our guests impressions after watching the forum and what touched them the most. Tammy, I'd like to go with you first. Please let me ask you which information from the forum touched you the most, maybe even shocked you the most, and what do you think about its relevance for nowadays society?
Probably what's going on under the Earth's crust and the 12,000 year cycle that we've found ourselves in. Who would have thought it would have been in our lifetime that this would be happening? But I sort of have been following what's been going on around the world. I like to know what's happening in other countries and keeping up to speed with world events, unlike I think a lot of people don't. But I take it upon myself to dive in and do as much exploring as possible. So I already knew, so it just resonated with me. Yeah, what you were saying, all these natural disasters happening around the world. If you just listen and look around you, you can see how relevant it feels. Like that to me, that was a big thing to hear with the whole 13 years. We've got a lot of work to do. I think that was the main thing. And now this new Creative Society movement, I'm really excited to see where it leads us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tammy. Yes, I think this information was shocking for all of us, including me. but it's also great that we know that we have a solution, that we know what to do about it. Because just hearing this information without giving the solution, then I don't know how would I feel. But like hearing that there is a solution, that we can actually do something about it, that if we unite, if we build creative society, we get all the scientists behind the round table and let them, find the solutions, how to stabilize the core of the planet, which I think it's totally possible, because we could see that we can already translate into 150 languages. So we can, get all the scientists together and, have them come up with a solution for us. And also, the same question is going to go to Jeanette. Jeanette, what was for you the most shocking information, or what are your understandings? What's your inspiration?
Well, I wouldn't say that I found any of it shocking, simply because I studied environmental science and I've kind of followed it for many, many years. So seeing the magnitude of what's happening right now was a little alarming, but still not surprising at the same. But what really impressed me about the summit was there were a lot of people talking about don't follow, with what's going on in the world, don't necessarily buy into what we're being told and these things. But there's not necessarily someone coming up with a solution, this kind of whole package of understanding about how we can collectively step forward. And when I saw that, it just kind of touched me in such a deep way, because it felt like the way that I'd always believed and the future that I always thought was possible. So that kind of, it was quite special from that perspective for me.
Thank you so much, Jeanette, for these beautiful words. And also, it's very interesting to hear that for many people, this information wasn't new, wasn't something very extraordinary and shocking. Because when we look around, we actually see that so many bad things are happening. It's no surprise that we led to such a deep crisis, and seeing that catastrophes are happening, if at least a little we are searching over the web, we would see that it's a global problem and it's not covered fully on the media, on official sources. I'm glad that there are many people who really who were realizing it already themselves, and forum just became a confirmation. Thank you so much for being with us. Hertzog, let's go with you. What is your impression after watching the forum? What's your thoughts? What would you like to share with us?
Okay. Well, at first, I just realized how bad we are in the terms of global crisis. I grew up with the media talking about the global crisis in the sense of the greenhouse gases and all that. But I never understood the perspective, or I never heard the perspective that was given in this forum. And that just really struck me as it's much bigger than a lot of us know. And a lot of the friends that I have haven't even heard of this theory or what's happening in reality. And for me, I've always been an optimistic outlook sort of person. So for me, hearing about how little time this planet has with the rate that we are going is quite alarming. But I also see how big of an opportunity this is for this creative society to flourish and for people to become more autonomous, more sovereign in what they choose to do in life. And I really appreciate the fact that it's for the people, and the people decide what's best for the people. And I know it sounds cliche, but I grew up in a country with democracy, and that's not always the best model. So for me to hear this model is confirmation for me as well that this is the right direction, I believe, to go.
Thank you so much, Hertzog, for what you just said, because I feel the same way. And I think many of us, I guess all of us here feel the same way, because, I felt it from my childhood that, when I was falling asleep, I always imagined this beautiful planet where people are happy, where all are in harmony, where everything is just, humane and nice. And I don't know why I had this in me when I was like 5 or 6 years old, but it's there since then. And I've been dreaming about this society. And I understood right now with the Creative Society project that it's possible, and how great people are, how amazing people are inside. And if we actually decide to go with this positivity, with this creativeness, then we can really, really change the world for the better, for what we all hope for. So thank you so much. It's really great to hear. And Srikanth, I assume that the 12,000-year cycle is really not new for you, that I'm pretty sure that you already knew about it when you watched the forum. But what was for you the most inspirational, or what new understandings maybe you got for yourself?
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank the Creative Society, everyone who's involved, the people gathered here today, and the ones who do their part behind the scenes, participants and the viewers. A big thank you, because without you guys, this will not be possible. I'm truly humbled to be here. I was just one of those people who did not knew that such a society existed. Even though with all the research and everything that I had in the back of me, I was always just pondering around up till I saw the adverts showing that November 12th, we are having this big forum. And when I got into watching it, I saw, so many people coming in and sharing more information over 183 countries, right? With 150 translations. So that blew my mind away. And I knew I was in the right place with the right group of people who are thinking out of the box, people who are thinking to, make the human race to have a better chance of surviving what's coming ahead. And at least that actually gave me the ability to now come here and sit with you all and actually discuss and have this open discussion to see what can be done. And it just keeps me going even more. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Srikanth. I'm so happy that you found your crowd and you feel so genuine among Creative Society. All of you guys, it's obvious that Creative Society was waiting for you, and I hope you were waiting for it also. So that as someone brought this information to you, now we need to bring Creative Society to everyone else in the world. They are waiting for sure. Now, Gabichka, I'm passing the floor to you.
Yes, and now we would like to actually take a look at the fragment from the forum about the benefits of the Creative Society, which is one of my favorites. And we all know that, human life is going to be the highest value in Creative Society, not on the paper like it's right now, but actually in reality. And already in transition period to Creative Society, each person will gain certain benefits or certainties to rely on. So let's watch it together again and remind ourselves what great things awaits us.
For several years, we have been informing about the Creative Society. The most frequent question we hear is, what will my life be like in the Creative Society? Friends, it's time to answer this question that concerns all of us. Make yourselves comfortable. We invite you to a wonderful world where the most valuable thing is human life. Your life. Living conditions, everyday life. Already in the transition period from the consumerist format of society to the creative one, each person will immediately be provided with accommodation of at least 60 square meters for a comfortable life. If you have a family of 5, you will live in a house or apartment of 300 square meters. This housing will be your property. It will not be subject to taxes and utility bills. As your family grows, your living space will expand. A consumer paradise will be created. The availability of free time, money, and a variety of quality goods and accessible products. And this is already in the transition period from a consumerist format to the Creative Society. Financial freedom. People will become financially independent starting from their birth. From the first day of the transition period to the Creative Society, all mortgages and loans will be written off. No more inflation. Prices for the same product or services will be the same all over the world. No more taxes on small and medium-sized businesses. No more taxes on individuals. You will receive a universal basic income of $10,000 every month. There will be no need to work in order to have a roof over your head and feed your family. In the creative society, you will always have confidence in your future. Do you want more money? There will be an opportunity to work doing what you love to do. Only 4 hours a day, 4 days a week. You will have a vacation at least 2 months a year. Do you want to work more because you get a buzz out of doing your job benefiting society? Go for it. You are always free to choose. All hard, dangerous, harmful, and monotonous work will be done by robots and automated systems. A human is not a slave to toil from morning till night for a penny. You will have time for yourself. You will be able to do things you really care about. Spend time with people you love. Develop yourself. Be creative. And travel to any part of the world without visas or restrictions. In the creative society, every day of your life brings only joy and pleasure. Environment. Production will be waste-free and completely environmentally friendly. Pesticides and chemicals will no longer be needed to grow products. Only tasty, healthy, and varied foods will always be on your table. You will be able to enjoy clean, fresh air wherever you go. You will be able to drink crystal clear water saturated with good microelements and minerals. In the creative society, we will restore the ecosystem of the planet, and we will be able to admire the purity of oceans and the beauty of pristine forests. The creative society is a world of harmony and beauty. Healthcare. Perfect health of every person is one of the priorities of the creative society. From the very beginning of the transition period, medical care will be free for everyone. Doctors will be paid for healthy patients. A patient will no longer be seen as a profitable client. Each medical center will be equipped with artificial intelligence that will incorporate the experience of all the best doctors in the world throughout history. The very approach in healthcare will change. It will become 90% preventative. And all this right away in the transition period. Now, in the creative society, new technologies will allow humanity to never get sick. Everyone will have an opportunity to significantly increase their lifespan. To date, these technologies are already being developed, but the consumerist format makes them inaccessible for us. A simple device installed in the shower cubicle will scan your body and will adjust your appearance according to your wishes. In the creative society, you'll be really healthy, completely free of charge. Education. You deserve a decent, high quality, and free education. Do you like to study? In the creative society, you can get as many degrees as you want. And you won't have to worry about earning a living because you'll have a universal basic income. From the first days of the transition period to the creative society, you can easily acquire a new profession if you wish to. Artificial intelligence will create an adaptive educational program for you according to your peculiarities. You can study anywhere in the world and at a time that suits you. The creative society is a world of knowledgeable and versatile personalities. Freedom. People will decide for themselves what rules and laws to live by and implement their decisions through voting on a unified platform. The highest value is human life. Everything will be built around the fundamental basis. The world's media will no longer be in private hands, but will belong to society as a whole. This means that they will no longer be able to manipulate public opinion for the profit of a few. The media will truthfully and holistically inform, educate, and inspire people. Safety. Already, in the transition period from the consumerist format to the creative society, the fate of people will no longer depend on the decisions made by a few individuals and on what those in power will agree among themselves. Society will create conditions in which wars, murder, theft, slavery, human trafficking, and drug trade will be impossible. Crime will completely disappear. The latest technologies will be implemented everywhere, which will help the Unified Emergency Service to work proactively to prevent accidents and crimes. You can easily let your child go to school or outside being completely sure about his safety. You'll be safe and secure at all times of day and night while returning home in the evening, going for a walk in the park, or going to a concert. The main danger, the threat of a global climate catastrophe, will be solved. Humanity will never again be threatened by climate disasters and wars. In the creative society, you and your family will be safe anywhere in the world. You will get all this starting from the first days of the transition period. And already, in the creative society, thanks to a replicator technology, you will be able to get everything you need. All kinds of food, clothes, household items, and much more. As fantastic as it may sound, most of the technologies we're talking about already exist. It's just that it's impossible to use them in a consumerist format. Beginning with the transition period, science and technology will be aimed at improving the quality of human life. Life must bring only joy and pleasure. The whole absurdity is that, despite having all the possibilities to live in the creative society already now, we continue to maintain the consumerist format. We can build the creative society peacefully, without struggle or confrontation, in the shortest possible time. There will be no more revolutions, except scientific and technological ones, which will be a permanent and natural phenomenon in the creative society. Tell your family, friends, neighbors, and acquaintances about this perspective. Share how beneficial and cool the creative society is for them. You and I are living in an amazing time, when within a short time we can move from the slave system of the consumerist format to the free and safe world of the creative society. Everything depends on you. If you want such a life, support the creative society and tell everyone about it.
Guys, do you see yourself in this kind of the world we've just seen? Jeanette, let's go with you first. Do you see yourself in this world, and which technologies, to your mind, are the most crucial for us to use for the sake of all humanity?
For me, I completely see myself living in this world because, in a way, it's the inner world that I've already created within me. So for it to be replicated in a way that exists for us out on an external perspective and for everyone else, it doesn't surprise me at all. And the technology, there's an interesting thing about technology that when you think about it from a yogic philosophy, that in every problem is the seed of a solution, right? And we're all the solutions in the problem. And it was just so beautiful to see that by bringing people together, we all have a part of the puzzle, and there aren't nearly 8 billion of us for no reason at all. It's just about us bringing and uniting all those parts of the puzzle together. So the technologies that exist are miraculous, and for some people, they will be surprised that these technologies even exist at all now, let alone that they're somehow being withheld from us for some reason, or they're only being allowed to be utilised by a small few. But obviously the key ones, things for being able to work in preventative health. I mean, I've been singing this song for my entire life, that health is in prevention, not in cure. And being able for people to be able to take control of that and know that they're aware of how that they can prevent injury coming in the first place, so to stay healthy. And I automatically think of not necessarily people in, those Western societies similar to where I live, but I think of people that, there's 1 billion people in this world that are struggling to eat every single day of their life, the really simplest things. So if we could just produce food for those people, that technology just wipes the slate clear of so many things that get in the way of happiness for people. Those simple things. And the one that I can recall that I found amazing is that we're always talking about the amount of rubbish that we make, and the fact that rubbish would become a commodity that we'd actually use to be able to create the things that we want. It's like the technology has the answer for everything. But it's interesting because the space that I work in is very technology based. And so what we do in society is we think that technology has all the answers, but we're not giving all those answers to everyone. So once you give it to everyone, and once we share it, and we share our knowledge and our wisdom to be able to bring those answers together to create what we need, I think it becomes a very different thing. So it's about connecting people with technology in a really positive way. So we're already there. We just have to make the decision. Are we going to go? Are we not going to go? And I don't think there'd be anybody who had the opportunity that would say, no, it's not for me. I can't see a person existing in the world like that.
Thank you so much, Janet. Yes, I also cannot imagine anyone who wouldn't want to have a regenerator at home, because, for instance, I broke my leg last week, and first question was after I hurt myself, and it hurt a lot. It was so painful. I'm like, where is the regenerator? Why do I have to go to the ER and be on the crutches for so many weeks? So I'm really looking forward to Creative Society, because it will definitely solve so many problems with health. It will really make people happy and healthy, full of energy, and it will give them the potential. They can actually, rise, because you work as a, transformator, or, you're also an author. So that people have this potential inside of them. They can actually go higher. They can actually, have this self-development as well, which I think it's also an important part of the Creative Society. And you also mentioned that these technologies are being sort of hidden from us, which is true, because there is a lot of things, a lot of discoveries which we already know about, but in the consumer's format, we cannot give them to people, because, other people will go bankrupt, like doctors, like myself. What would I do in the consumer's format if I don't have patients, right? But I want to see healthy patients. But in Creative Society, if I already have this, income which is coming every month, and I don't have to worry about it, well, that's amazing. I would rather have the regenerator than treat patients the old way, because it's not really the good way to treat people. It's better, of course, than nothing, but it would be better to treat them holistically, completely regenerate them, give them this opportunity. And speaking about hiding the technologies, also I think Tammy talked about the media, that media are not showing the whole truth. And the next question, Tammy, is to you. which truth is the media actually hiding from us?
Which truth is the media actually hiding from us? That is the broadest question. Like, there is so much that they are hiding from us. It's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. I can't even watch mainstream television anymore. I just see it as this brainwashing gimmick. They're hiding how we can be better and how we can be healthy. They're hiding, you never hear the government, anybody, you don't see ever on mainstream media how to treat at home with natural remedies. Yeah, you can go to the chemist and get a prescription drug, but in the meantime, how about you do this and do this? Like, we all know that plant is medicine, and we all know that anything on this earth is put here to nourish us. And I just feel like they've pulled the wool right over all of our eyes, and that's the biggest dip there, is how do you break through that and help people understand? Because especially I'm finding especially around my area, even just trying to get through to the older generations, because they have always just trusted the television. They never had the dive of the internet where they could, for me, that's a good night in for me, is sort of, researching, and then I go down some rabbit holes and stuff. Like, to me, that excites me, because I want to find, but the information isn't just there for everyone to see. It should be. You have to go through all these loopholes to get basic information about anything. And I feel like even just the scamming system through the internet as well, it's almost making it so we've got this vast information available to us at our fingertips, but yet there's also this, we're slowly just starting to lose trust, and because people are getting scammed, and it's like, what can you believe? And there's people feeding out fake information. Mainstream media is creating this, they're reporting on stuff in the world that doesn't matter, when there's people starving in other parts of the world, and major natural disasters that are killing people, and people are homeless, and they're reporting on silly things that I just think, how does that even make it? So yeah, I don't even know where to begin with that question. It's just too, honestly, I'm ready for the smoke screen to be lifted, to be honest.
Thank you, Tammy. From what I've heard from you, I can make just one conclusion, that we are living in an upside down world. Everything which should be on the surface for us to learn to see, it's hidden. And everything which is not important, or even important for us not to see, for example, some spreading of violence like we see in movies, or those examples of superheroes who are literally killing people or something like that, that is on the surface everywhere. Or a propaganda of careerism in video clips and music clips and so much stuff. It's really upside down. What is important is not important, is becoming not important now. I mean, possessed to us is not important. So thank you so much for bringing it on the table and showing this, that literally for a person who doesn't know about creative society yet, there is not even one clear source of information. Even internet, so many people trust the internet. I was one of them for a very long time, but now we are living in this era when internet is actually controlled also, because for example, Google is also a corporation. What can we expect from a corporation? To respect our rights, to think about our freedom first of all, and it's just a commercial purposes. And there is such thing as I Googled it. For many people, they think like, I Googled this information, so that's correct. But now the time is much more difficult than that. Yeah, thank you. You know, one of the also very crucial information for us, which is also not being exposed on media, is 12,000 year cycle which we entered, and it relates to climate so much. If only people knew that we are facing this cycle, I think so many actions in the society would change. So I want to address my question to Srikanth now. We saw in the forum climate change is cyclic, and I know that you are aware of that. Can you tell us more about it, and what are your understandings from the forum and about this cyclicity?
Thank you, Olga. The speakers in the forum touched on a lot of things, incredible information. These were in alignment with my beliefs. The thing that actually caught my attention was the 12,000 year cycle, because I've been doing my research for the past couple of years. The 12,000 year cyclical event is real. Every culture has its own version of the great cataclysm events that have been passed down by our ancestors. The great floods, super volcanoes going off, huge 100-feet tsunamis, and extreme weather. These are all part of the 12,000 year cycles. We have core samples and data to show this very clearly. The scientific calculations and resources are also available. The truth is, it's happening now and it's going to intensify. The mainstream media in their narrative, right, they are pushing it more towards the CO2, right? They're saying that CO2 is the one that's going to cause all these kind of disasters or these kind of events But if you look at how our planet actually moves around in the solar system, right? In fact, within the Milky Way galaxy itself, right? It has got this intergalactic current that will be discharged at a certain period of time, which actually comes to us during this 12,000 year cycle. And we have so many, 12,000, 24,000, 32,000 events have happened. The important thing is that we humans will survive it. We have survived. That's the reason why we are here, right? But how are we going to move forward from there, right? Are we going to still remain in the consumer model, or are we going to move to the creative society model? Because I think the creative society model is going to be much, much more better for humanity to prosper and to move forward in the next phase, because you can't stop this 12,000 year cycle. It's going to happen, right? But how are we going to get prepared and move forward? Creative society is the one that has got the solution, and I firmly believe in it. And no violence, peaceful solution. That's what I look at. Thank you, Olga.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Srikanth, for this answer. Yes, and I also heard like an interesting idea that we actually all stand like on the crossroad with the 12,000 year cycle. Like, what are we going to choose? Are we going to rise, or are we going to fall? Like, it's up to us. What are we going to choose? And that's why the forum is so amazing to me, because it gives all this information. It gives it openly, truthfully, scientifically. I mean, I really recommend all people just to watch it, because they will get up to date, like up to speed of what creative society is, what current information is right now going on in the world. Like, it's 12 hours, but within these 12 hours, you will get like this full package. Like, you will understand the whole puzzle, like what's going on like that. So thank you so much, Srikanth, for this. And also a question for Hertzog, because in the forum, we also talk about the self-governing society, and that's the second favorite video of mine, how the self-governing society is going to work. And it's actually the 8th foundation of the creative society. And this is topic of your interest. So maybe would you share with us, like, or comment on this topic?
Of course. Well, first of all, I'm not a politic expert at all. And I think that sort of suits this model, because a lot of people in the world don't exactly know anything about the democracy sort of side of things. And it's kind of, I think it's meant to be confusing for a lot of people. But I just remember that I was taught to be fair. I was taught to share with other kids when I was younger. And a good example was my granddad used to teach me a lesson of how to be fair, and he would put a block of chocolate down, and it was me and my brother, and we would want to have like half and half. And he said, well, the one who cuts the piece gives the half to the other person. So the other person chooses first. And that taught us as kids that when we care about the truth or the measurement of something, everyone has an equal share. I know it sounds a bit convoluted, but it sort of just instilled this, like, sharing is caring is a cliche, but in terms of politics, with what happens with democracy is a lot of misinformation is key for one party to win or the other. And that sort of misinformation can divide humanity. And that's not true democracy, or that's not what I believe is the best model for humanity. So in a way, I'm almost perfect to talk about this subject because I'm not an expert. So for me, it's all about everyone has the capacity within themselves to fully understand what they need in life, what is right and what is wrong, like what hurts other people. And a self-governing society would open that sort of, in a sense, it would make us more confident in our choices because we've chosen it. It's like we took care in what we want in life, and that benefits the rest of society instead of everyone fighting between two or three, I'm not sure, like parties where like one wins and the others are, you know, like maybe next time, and all that sort of rivalry. And you could almost say the what's the word, the gang mentality. No, the we choose sides in this sort of old model that we have in this world, and it's not productive. But with a self-governing society, we can all chip in and choose anything that we think will benefit us. And in reality, we're all human, so whatever we choose, obviously within the 8 pillars of society, will always benefit the rest of society because we are much more equipped to decide what we do than we think. And yeah, I think that's all I can think of right now.
Thank you so much, Hertzog, for your sincere feedback and sharing your feelings. Thank you. I love this, how you mentioned that every one of us has this inner understanding what is right and what is wrong. And it's literally like that. So many people, they feel shy. They say like, oh, I cannot decide for all humanity or for all society, but we can do it all together. Now we are voting for politics so they can decide for us. So we are adult enough, expert enough to vote for politics. How come we are not expert enough to vote for specific decisions, right? How to spread our money, what to do for the society. It's like I was passing by a broken bench recently, bench next to my house, and I tried to put myself on a place of those vandals who did it. And I was thinking, like, if I, that vandal, was taking part into deciding how to spread our money, how to spend our taxes, let's say, and there would be in my application on my phone, like fixing benches, I don't know, $10,000 or something, for example, all around the city. Would I break it again if I was like, yes, let's pay for those fixing benches? Then when I would be passing by that bench, I would think twice because I would know that I voted for that. That's my decision and my choice. So it's also about, we will feel the responsibility, every one of us. And I think that way we will grow and become adults as the society, finally. Good adults in a good sense of that. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing your understandings. That's very, very important for all of us. And also, I know that you're already sharing the information about the forum, the Creative Society, that you became active participants of this noble project. Thank you so much for that. So I wanted to ask, what do you think all of us need to do to inform all 8 billion of people about the Creative Society? What are your understandings, ideas about that. And maybe you can also give examples how you inform other people, how you are realizing the first stage of building the creative society, information stage. Tammy, can I go first with you? Would you be able to share this?
I have noticed within myself, I work best face-to-face with people. Going over the internet and things like that isn't really my forte. I really like to connect one-on-one. I feel as though human beings, we are all in the same boat where we're feeling very disconnected from everything, and just the way the world is right now. We're all searching for that deeper understanding and deeper connection. And I just feel like, you know, just a conversation. So where I work, I am constantly I have these conversations that many times throughout the day. I get goosebumps because it matters. And you only have to hear somebody speak about something that matters to them. And those goosebumps is because that the person who I'm explaining it to has felt something as well. And to me, that is that reassurance of that connection, that deeper connection. For me, we've all got to get out of our comfort zones. We honestly have to really put ourselves out there and start really expressing it wholeheartedly, because no human in their right mind can hear somebody speaking from the heart that it matters, and see what's happening in the world, and not want to be a part of the positive change that creative society is offering. You know, like it's it's not rocket science. It's so much bad that's happening in the world. You know, there's mental health. You've got young kids killing themselves, older people. You know, no one's ever really fully content. You know, and I know that at the end of my day, when my life is flashing before my eyes, I want to be sure that I've put in 110% in creating, you know, something better than what I left it, even if it's just working towards something greater. And yeah, TikTok has been really good for me, believe it or not, as I don't know whether my algorithms are just tuned into my beat. Obviously, you know, there's a lot of BS out there, but I feel as though things that resonate with you, you know, you can hear a lot of things, but as a human being, we've got 6 senses, and the human body is a really clever thing. And if you really get to know who you are and the things that you hear, any human can sense what is right in their heart and what is wrong. You can't not, unless you're totally numbed out, and that's when you've got to start getting real. So I think just one person at a time, and we've just got to tackle this head on. The internet is really it kind of wavers the trust because of all the scamming and stuff. So I feel as though as long as we are interacting one-on-one with people and expressing things wholeheartedly and saying what we mean and meaning what we say, I feel like people can't not feel that it's right.
Thank you, Tammy, so much for sharing. Yes, one-on-one sharing, you know, heart to heart, like you said, or soul to soul. It's a great way, and I also use this way of talking to my patients when they come to my office, and it works very well. And recently, I actually got out of my comfort zone because after the forum, there's a huge inspiration, and I started to talk to people in the store, which for me, when I was like paying for groceries, and before I heard like in my head, like, no, you cannot do it because, you know, the people are at work, they have a lot of things to do, there's a wait line, you know, they'll like annoying people here. And this time I was telling myself, no, I have to try it because this is really a life-saving project. We don't have that much time, as we, you know, heard in the forum. Like, I have to do it. And I was so surprised because the lady was sitting there actually I was in a post office. She was sitting there, you know, a lot of people there. And I'm like, did you hear about Creative Society after I paid for my mail? She's like, no. Oh, can I please give you a card? And she's like, sure. So I passed her the card, and as I'm giving it to her, I know I don't have that much time because there's a lot of people. I'm saying, you know, this is a chance for something better for all of us. And she looked at me this way, like, I don't know, like the way she looked at me, it was like, she said, thank you. But the way she said thank you, it was like she was waiting for it, you know, like she was waiting for the card and she was waiting for the information. I was so happy because I, you know, overcome myself in this, and I was leaving the post office and went to the next store and I did the same thing. And I was taking the stores around my office and passing the cards. So this is also the great way how to come, you know, how you said, come out of your comfort zone. So this is how I came out of my comfort zone, because it's easy to talk to patients. You know them, you tell them about the Creative Society, but telling the strangers like on the street, sometimes it's not that easy, but I was happy that I did it. And Janet, how do you inform your, you know, clients or people in your surroundings about Creative Society?
I find it really easy to talk to people about this because everyone's complaining or showing signs of stress around these things, right? So I just use the one that comes up. So when someone says to me, you know, I can't believe that I can't get something, you know, whether it's they're struggling with their health and they're not getting the kind of cover that they should, or they've been to different doctors and they don't understand what's wrong with them. It feels like such an easy thing because it feels like they're crying out for somebody to give them the information that they need. And I just say to them, have you heard of the Creative Society project? And they're like, no, what is it? And I said, I think you might find it interesting. You know, go and have a look, check it out, or if you like, I can send you a link for it. And they're like, oh, wow, so there's stuff there. I said, I think you might be surprised what's there. And so I think sometimes it's just finding those trigger points that come up in people and use that as a way to connect to them. And I think after sitting and watching the forum for 12 hours, it made me realise just how everyone is crying out for this. They want it so badly. And I feel like if I don't give it to them, I'm doing them a disservice in that conversation. So I kind of feel it in me in that way. It's like, no, I owe it to people. If I know this information, I owe it to people so they can have that information as well, and then they can decide. Because we know, as we talked about previously, that information's been concealed from us. So there's a big effort going on to try to stop people from gathering this information. So if you have it, you have a requirement to pass it on to other people. So, and people would be very grateful for it. And every conversation I've had, whether it be somebody at the supermarket or somebody that I know, every conversation I've had has been a beautiful conversation, and people have come back to me and said, I had no idea about this stuff. This stuff is amazing. So, and I think what I feel like in the world the most is that people have lost hope. And when you talk to somebody about the Creative Society, I feel like it gives them something to hope for again. And I think that is what will get us over the line, is hope. Is reinstilling hope in people that there is a better way.
Thank you so much, Janet. I just didn't want you to stop talking, you know. That was so beautiful what you were sharing. I totally feel you. I also inform people. I'm using social media a lot, but I'm also talking personally, and that also brings so much inspiration. For example, when you see, like last time, yesterday, I was at a new hairdresser, and she was in a quite bad mood. She accepted me like half an hour later without like apologizing much, like it's normal, and she was in some bad mood. So my consciousness was screaming to me, don't tell her anything about the Creative Society. She's not in the right mood. No, do it later. But I'm always asking myself, if someone who brought this information to me decided for me and took this my right to learn it from me, just deciding, no, it's not good time for Olga to learn it, then I would stay aside, and that would be such a loss for me. So I bared myself and I started talking, like, just like, have you heard about the Creative Society? And she was like instantly, no, tell me. So yeah, I got the request and I started telling, and it appeared a beautiful conversation. Her mood instantly changed. She started saying like, but everyone wants it. How come we don't know about it? Everyone wants it. And some other people in the studio also were turning their heads like, what is going on? Oh, there's something interesting. They were listening to us. That was so beautiful. So I know this experience, and that really next day you want to do more every time. But before that, it's like, no, I'm not sure. So we just need to be brave. Yeah. Okay. Hertzog, I think now it would be nice to listen to your experience, and what do you think, how we can inform 8 billion of people of the world?
Yes, well, I'm very much a person-to-person sort of. At my work, we have a very small company that I work for, and I'm very close to everyone there. And so for me, it's all about how it comes out organically for me. You have to be passionate about something for it to just come out of you organically. And I feel like that's the key for us, is to remain passionate and not lose hope, because it is quite a daunting task. And a lot of people I come across that I have shared this with has mostly been very in a pessimistic way, like, doesn't seem to be that, realistic. And we have to be almost, in a way, we have to be wise how we respond to that and give them space to feel that way, but also still keep that hope inside of us. And when they're ready, it comes out organically, and eventually everyone wants to hear good news. Everyone wants to be included in a greater world. And everyone knows the ins and outs of this world right now. Everyone knows they have to do a 9 to 5 and they have to pay the bills. And when the money comes, the money goes again because of the bills. And that's just that side. And then the world is in a crisis in terms of global change. And even the things I haven't heard of until this forum that happened, it definitely is a good wake-up call for most people when I tell them about the crust. But in a sense, it's also important for us to, I love the phrase, as wise as serpents and as innocent as doves. And what it means is, like, we have to be transparent and sincere in how we come across with this. And I'm not at all a big platform type of person, but just meeting one person and you say, hey, have you heard of the society, makes a huge difference, because it's a snowball effect. And if only we can reach one person a day, it's a lot of change. So for me, it's the small things that matter and making it come out organically and keep the passion alive. I think that is what I love to do. And I think for some people that will work best. And for others, they might be more socially inclined than me. I'm not a very social person. I don't go out dancing or anything like that. Most of the time I go to work, come home. So for me, it's the small moments that matter. And if that's all I can do or someone in my position can do, that's enough. We're making a change. So everyone can be passionate about something, and we can choose to be passionate about this particular thing because we know how little amount of time we have, and also how this is such a great opportunity for us to build the society. It's almost as a catalyst, almost as it's meant to be, in a sense, where the world is heading. And if we can sow that seed into people's minds, I believe it will go really far.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, actually, for not being that social, it's great that you're here with us talking in front of millions of people. So it's amazing, you know, that's another way how we can actually spread the information about creative society, organizing these international discussions, because I think for me they're very inspirational, you know, even meeting you guys today from all different parts of the world. And you feel like family. You feel that you're so close to me, like, you know, it's such a big resonance going on between us, and you can actually feel it, and you feel great I feel great being here with you. It's like I already know you. And also, Srikanth, the same question for you. How do you inform about creative society?
Well, ever since I've been watching, I saw the forum. I've been like buzzing. I've been just like talking to my family, my friends, and just, you know, informing every one of them about the creative society. Like what most of them were a bit skeptical at the beginning, but I led them onto the videos and you know, to the forums, and let them hear you guys and let them think for themselves. I gave them the space, and, you know, some of them are coming along, some are not still. Yeah, but I will keep persisting with them. And well, after seeing this forum, I think most of them will be even more convinced and probably will be like really looking forward to joining the creative society, because like what you said, this is a family. This is the way to go. I mean, to have a human, to have a dream is just our way of staying alive. And this is where creative society will be able to help the human civilization to succeed and move on. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Srikanth. Beautiful guests, beautiful examples. I'm so glad that all of you are so active, and you made really good examples of how we can approach other people, being sincere, persisting but not pushing, and just letting them decide for themselves. I think the best question would be just letting people ask themselves, is creative society what they truly want or not? But for that, we just need to provide information. What is the creative society? I think thanks to this conversation, to this show today, many people will get their answers. So next part will be after answering if it's yes, I want to live in this kind of society. What can I do to share this information? And you also gave very good examples and very good information. I want to thank you. We are coming to final of our show. Unfortunately, it cannot be eternal, but I know that we will proceed and we will see you in different projects, other projects of the Creative Society. Thank you so much for being with us today. Danny, Janet, Hertzog, Srikanth. It was a great pleasure to meet you guys and to talk to you today. And I want to address to our dearest viewers, if you haven't watched the Global Forum, Global Crisis, Our Survival is in Unity, you can go to the website creativesociety.com and watch it. You don't have to watch it fully instantly. You can go by TV, like a TV episodes, 1 hour per day or a few hours per day. But I'm sure in the end, you will get very much inspired and you will really understand what we can do to save our beautiful planet and also to build a beautiful, prosperous, solid society as the Creative Society might be. Thank you so much and see you in the other shows.